Join UF Hall of Famer and 14-year NFL vet Shane Matthews every weekday as he brings you all you need to know about your Florida Gators, including news, analysis, and opinions with some of the biggest names in sports. Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Or watch us live at 8 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Good morning. Live edition of PodUp with Matthews in the morning, coming to you from the International Diamond Center studios. Locations across the state of Florida, right there at Celebration Point in the heart of Gator Nation. Go check out the good folks at International Diamond Center. Today we'll have Brent Beaird, our college football analyst and Heisman Trophy voter. And then you'll have Win with JC. He and Zach will take you home the rest of the way. Missed it last night. Knicks take game one in the NBA Finals. Game one of the Women's College World Series goes to the Texas Longhorns, and Auburn wins the national championship in men's golf. They were pretty much the number one team most of the year. Let's go straight to the Titan MR hotline. It's our man, Brent Beaird. Good morning, Brent. How are you?
Shane, doing well. We have magazines out, my friend. We have 3 of them, believe it or not. It is that time of the year, and they all differ in a lot of ways, but if you're looking for a reference guide, it's great to see Athlon and Lindy's. And for the first time in years, Sporting News is back. Still waiting on Phil Steele. He will be around the 4th of July when his magazine comes out. All about 350 pages of it, if you can believe that. But we got 3 of them on the shelves right now, Shane.
Yes, indeed. And some bragging rights, fans like during talking season to brag about their school, but there's only a few NCAA schools that finished the top 15 this year in football, basketball, baseball, and softball.
Yeah, that was Alabama and Texas, 2 from the SEC that had schools that did very well. So we won't have the all sports information out yet, but both those schools will probably be pretty high among that information. So that will be interesting to see. So yes, good seasons altogether for Alabama and Texas.
However, the SEC All Sports Trophy went to the Mighty Gators. It's already
That's right.
done.
Yes.
Yep, Florida won that. Between the magazines that you have read, Brent, with their top 20, so to speak, any differences there?
Oh, yeah, there's plenty of that. In Athlon, I'll give you the top 5 real quick, but with them, Ohio State, Georgia, Texas, Notre Dame, and Indiana. Indiana, yes, is 5th in Athlon. In Lindy's, Oregon is number 1 team. Texas, Ohio State, Notre Dame, and Indiana is 5. Also in Sporting News, Indiana is number 1. Ohio State, Georgia, and Texas, and Notre Dame are your top 5 too. Miami is predicted by everyone to win the ACC, and Georgia is predicted by everyone to win the SEC. So that gives you a little bit of a snapshot about what they think in the magazine so far, which is there are still a great reference guides, some bragging rights in there early on. Really means nothing, frankly, but it's just fun to see.
Yeah. And would you say among the magazines that you've mentioned, they have the SEC rankings for the Gators anywhere between 9 and 12 in the SEC? Yeah,
Lindy's actually has Florida as number 25. That is that's the best that we've seen so far for the Gators. And Athlon, Florida is predicted number 9, and Lindy's Florida's predicted number 8. And in sporting news, Florida is predicted number 12. So a lot of discrepancy so far in the magazine. So, but I mean, that's why you get them, and people have different opinions, and that's the thing that comes out. But as we mentioned, in your ACC is kind of in some order your top, or Miami, SMU, and Louisville. Those are, moved about a little bit, and in some others, but that's kind of what it looks like. So, yes, they are on the stands already, and we kind of tracked this over the years around. I would say May 23rd is when they start coming out, and by the 4th of July, you've got about every one of them. That's different from what it used to be.
Rose Ogre State Farm offers a team of dedicated insurance professionals ready to help life go right with the right insurance options for you and your family. Visitogreinsurance.com. Give them a call at 352-240-1779. All right, Brent, we actually got some text here, and I was going to get to it about the congressional hearings that Coach Saban looked at yesterday.
Yeah, the Senate Commerce Committee had a meeting yesterday. Nick Saban was one of the guests. Notre Dame athletic director Peter Bavacqua, Gordon Gee, who obviously is the school president, and the Pac-12 commissioner Teresa Gould, among the folks who spoke. But Saban did said that they need to get some kind of a handle on the spending, or that we were going to have a whole lot of issues here. So, I mean, we go from the SEC meetings in Destin to the meetings in Washington, D.C. Now, look, Washington, D.C. is not going to figure everything out, but the thing that helps that they are involved in, hopefully, is to when you make a decision to keep from being sued for everything. So they're hoping that that's going to happen in the main things. But I mean, Saban was very good, as he usually is. People listen to him, and he certainly says they need to get a handle on what's going on before to get a hold of the spending and so forth. So what we would kind of see where that goes next.
Yeah, and I can't remember if we spoke about the SEC meetings with you last week, if they were over or not. But now that it's all final, anything come out of there that caught your eye?
I think the biggest thing that caught my eye was the fact that so many people, and you had all the presidents and coaches who were present, but they were not hesitant to share their opinion. And their opinion differs from Greg Sankey, the commissioner. That's the thing that I think was most interesting about it, was that they disagreed with the commissioner. In other words, the big thing was Sankey wants to stop at 16 in the playoffs, but a lot of the presidents and coaches want to go to 24, which is what the Big Ten wants to do. And also there was in yesterday, Ted Cruz and Maria Cantwell, Republican and Democrat, both, to tell they had some legislation. Look, they're going to look at this, see what they can do with it. Only one transfer per player, 5-year eligibility, a pro player ban, a hard salary cap, shall we say. The Lane Kiffin rule, which would mean no coaches would leave before the year is over, and would try to prohibit super leagues from happening. In other words, the SEC and the Big Ten joining together, and the option of pooling TV rights. Now, look, a lot of this stuff will not happen. We understand that, but look, we don't agree with everything Washington does, but college football feels that they've got to be involved somehow to keep these lawsuits down to a minimum. So there's still much to be decided here, but that was kind of the crux of what happened yesterday.
Yeah, somebody needs to do something, because I've talked to multiple friends of mine that are in the coaching profession, and they're kind of at a loss, because it was the wild west when this all started.
Yes.
It's gotten even worse, and it's completely out of control. I'm going to text on the Titan More text time. From Rick says, what is Brent's take on how Miami's killing it in recruiting? What does he attribute the big reason? NIL, coaching, etc. They seem to be creating a monster in South Florida.
I think it's all the above. It is a thing that is going on. They did well in the transfer portal. They also have got to replace their offensive tackles and their center. Now, look, they've got great skill position players. They've got to rebuild their line of scrimmage. Markel Bell and James Brockemeyer, for instance, are guys who are gone too. And they've got a really good quarterback in Darian Mensah. Cooper Bartkate was also on that Duke team too. Malachi Toney, Mark Fletcher, those guys come back. Also, Jaden Bryant, who is an edge rusher, 6'3", 260, has changed his commitment from LSU to Miami. So, there's more excitement right now for Miami than I've seen in quite a while. Miami is predicted around that, besides winning the ACC, they're predicted to be around number 7 in the rankings we're seeing so far from the magazines.
Let's go around the SEC. What's going on in Tuscaloosa?
Yeah, a little. I think there's certainly some excitement there. They want to be more physically sound than they were last year. Frankly, they had some hits and misses in the transfer portal. Hollywood Smothers, NC State running back, went from Alabama to Texas. They got some guys who are really going to be pretty good, frankly. And I think they'll be more physical, as we said, the line of scrimmage, which is something they really need to do. Got to figure out who the quarterbacks are going to be. That's still up in the air. So the feeling is that they got better, but they've got a ways to go.
Anything going on with the Auburn Tigers?
Byron Brown, the new Auburn quarterback, is in. Now, he was at the Elite 11, and they said he has some trouble throwing the ball. Who knows what that means? It's early, and he has plenty of time to get it together. But I will say, there is certainly some excitement at Auburn right now.
What about the Gators?
Gators, I think in talking about Florida right now, it's got to be all recruiting. I mean, what they have done has been amazing. One of the latest guys, Kennedy Jackson from Lathona, Georgia, 6'6", 297. Florida, I've seen as like number 5 in the recruiting rankings. Look, we know you take those with a grain of salt, but at the same time, Shane, as you know, that they've done well, and they've done well the last 2 months, frankly. So I think there's a lot of excitement for Florida. And as we said a few minutes ago, Florida getting some love in the preseason magazines, rated at number 25 in one of those. So we'll see where that goes, but certainly some optimism out there for Florida.
Yeah, Georgia, Barone says on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, has never been this low in recruiting since Kirby's been the head coach. Now, it's still very early, but
yes.
What's going on in Athens?
Well, they've lost some players to different schools. They've lost 2 or 3. It's not like they've lost a flood of them. Frankly, they feel good about the tight end room. That's good. And then they've got more questions and answers at wide receiver in this point. I mean, they've still got some good ones. Georgia Tech transfer Isaiah Cannon is going to help them. Gunnar Stockton coming back is a big plus. Also, we mentioned the tight ends like Lawson Lucky, Elise Williams, some guys people may not be familiar with, but look, this team is going to still be very good. They're going to be able to run the ball behind a good offensive line. Stockton has been a steady quarterback. So I think, and look, in the preseason magazines, basically everybody has Georgia and Texas in the top 5.
Amy's question for you, Brent, on Facebook Live, brought to you by Metal Law. Do you think canceling the NC State-Virginia football game in Brazil will help to stop scheduling these crazy international games?
It might, and that's a good point. And people haven't heard that, and we don't really know all that happened there. But they were supposed to have that game overseas. It got canceled. They're going back to campus to play the game. So I don't know if they just felt badly about the security and to be protected there, or exactly what happened. But it might, that there was beginning to be a little bit of a trend in playing some of these games overseas, but that might slow it down a little bit. So yes, if people haven't heard that game is going back to the campuses.
Yeah, these international college games make absolutely no sense to me at all.
Yeah,
I just think
they're
really dumb. What about the Ole Miss Rebels?
There's a lot of love for Trinidad Chambliss at quarterback, and Keywan Lacey comes back. I think people knew Chambliss was coming back. I don't think they knew, a lot of them, that Keywan Lacey was coming back. But yeah, they both are starting 11 on defense, or mostly all transfers, which is not a whole lot of surprise. Pete Golding, I think is doing a good job. And again, one of the biggest games of the year is going to be in September when LSU and Lane Kiffin goes to Ole Miss. So then that's going to be a real challenge for both those teams. So keep that one in mind. But a lot of love still for Ole Miss, even with Lane Kiffin going to LSU.
Speaking of that, what's going on with the soap opera in Baton Rouge?
Yeah, that's basically what it is right now. Is a soap opera. Kiffin actually trying to temper some of these expectations, frankly. But look, they've got a lot of transfers. That's what Kiffin is going to be going with. First of all, they've got early games with Clemson. That game's at home. Ole Miss is on the road. So that Sam Levitt's going to come in at quarterback. He will be healthy by the time the season begins. Jordan Seaton, an offensive tackle. Princely Yu at edge rusher. So, and I say this a lot, but it bears repeating. The LSU beat writers will be pretty quick to tell you they will be good under Kiffin, but they just don't have the players that they need, and they will get, they think, over the next 2 or 3 years.
Don't let love bugs damage your car. Gallo Car Wash is your get rid of love bugs headquarters. And with a monthly membership, you can stop by Gallo Car Wash daily. All right, Brent, I guess there's some good news coming out of Missouri about Ahmad Hardy.
Yeah, Hardy is expected to make full recovery with this. 1,600 yards, 16 touchdowns. I mean, they're slow playing this, as people know or may not know. He was at a party or some event and ended up getting shot. Went to the hospital. He is okay, but they are just allowing him to take his time. He's back, with family and friends and teammates and so forth. So that's kind of the biggest thing for them, that they will have him back. If you gain 1,600 yards, you certainly need him, but and they've got to replace some guys, Ian Young, Damian Wilson II, Josiah Trotter, Chris McClellan, but they do think they will be good still. So, and a lot of it will depend on how quickly Hardy can get back.
Yeah, the Oklahoma Senators made the playoffs last year, but boy, they have a chance. A lot of people like them. I still like their quarterback a lot, but they have a brutal schedule. Brutal.
Yeah, they really do, don't they? And they've got some. Venables has got some good players who are coming back, who they went out and got. Former Virginia standout Trell Harris and Parker Livingston from Texas are expected to play. John Mateer comes back. Now, he is healthy from what we understand. They got some pretty good tight ends, and Rocky Beers and Hayden Hansen, who will help them. But Shane is right. They've got early games with Michigan, Georgia, and Texas on the road before mid-October. So, Shane, it's pretty safe to say they will be tested early, right?
Yes, they will. The Tennessee Vols, what can you tell us going up on Rocky Top?
Well, they're still not sure who the quarterback's going to be. Obviously, George McIntyre and Faison Brandon are the guys who are battling it out with that. They tried to get Sam Levitt, but he went to LSU. The biggest get for Tennessee is their defense coordinator, Jim Knowles, who was at Ohio State and Penn State. He comes over. He is going to bring some guys with him at Penn State. Shane, the logic with this is that until one of these quarterbacks kind of becomes the guy, that they may have to really rely on their defense. Now, they won't be good overnight necessarily, but they do think they will be much better. And they may have to win some games, 21 to 17 type stuff, until they get the quarterbacks really up and going. So I think that's the main thing at Tennessee is how quickly can they bring these guys along, and will this defense be as good as we think it could?
What about the Texas Longhorns?
A lot of excitement in Texas, to say the least. At quarterback, obviously with Manning, they love the wide receivers. Cam Coleman is there. And they've also got some really good edge rushers. The schedule is going to be tough. Frankly, they've got Ohio State in Austin after playing that game in Columbus. There's a lot of talk about why don't Texas drop, and that they've got a couple of easy games or an easy one before they get into the Ohio State game. Texas Tech wants to play them, but the truth of the matter is that schedule is already set. I don't see that happening, and frankly, if you're Texas, would you want to play Texas Tech and Ohio State to start the season? And I'm guessing the answer is probably no.
Correct. All right. Last thing, what's going on with the Aggies?
I think there's a lot of thought about how good they could be, particularly on defense, defensive line and secondary. They could be elite. Also, Colin Klein is gone, so they've got a new offensive coordinator. 6 starters coming back on offense, including Marcel Reed. I'm curious your thoughts on him. They're hoping he'll get better. The whole offense really struggled in that loss to Miami in the playoffs, frankly. So this is going to be a very interesting team to watch for. Holman Wiggins was promoted to the offensive coordinator. So that will be interesting to see where that goes. So just a little bit of previewing with some of the SEC schools.
Give us a couple of nuggets before we get you out of here.
We mentioned Miami a little bit. as they are, as we mentioned, they're replacing both their offensive tackles and their center. They did get go the transfer portal and really did well with that too. So a lot of excitement for the Canes also. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Some people may be wondering about Phil Steele in the preseason magazine. Steele is going to be out around the 4th of July, which is around the corner, frankly. His magazine is going to be saying like 350 pages. With that print so small, that's still going to be hard to read. So, but again, if people want to get some reading up on the coming college football season, as we said, there are 3 magazines that are out. The Sporting News is out, Lindy's is out, and Athlon is out. So catch up on a little bit of college football reading when you go on the beach over the next few weeks.
That's true. Brent, great stuff as always. Appreciate your time. We'll see you next week, my man.
Good. Look forward to it, pal. Take care.
UF grad Michael Schneider, a real estate attorney, can help you save thousands of dollars in real estate commissions by helping you sell your home or land by owner without a broker. Michael Schneider, PLLC, serves the entire state of Florida. Contact Michael at maschneiderpllc.com. We're going to turn it over to JC and Zach. You're watching and listening to PodUp with Matthews in the Morning from the International Diamond Center Studios. We'll be right back.
Our premium sponsors are Atlantic Roofing, Campus USA Credit Union, International Diamond Center, J.F. Hayden's Craft Liqueurs, Los Landeros Tequila, Meldon Law, Titan MRI and Imaging, Castaway Sauce, UF Health Orthopedics, Michael Schneider PLLC, Florida Legends Gala and Experience, Money Metals, Sensei Asian Bistro. Our gridiron sponsors are Baker Sports, Florida Cracker Oyster, Gallo Car Wash, Miapa Latin Cafe, Peachland Dental, Quality Plumbing, Ruse Ogre State Farm, Silverback Concrete, 84 Lumber, Big Mills Cheesesteaks, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Florida Cracker Kitchen, Gator Dominoes, Ironwood Golf Course, McDonald's of Gainesville, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, UF Bookstores, International Gold and Diamond, Advocare, and MGA&A Wealth. Watch and listen to us live on Facebook or YouTube. Listen to podcasts wherever, on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And to advertise, be sure to call my man Freddie at 352-284-3733.
Recent price spikes in groceries, healthcare, gasoline, steel, and lumber tell the story of inflation. As the reality of all this inflation sinks in, investors will be acting quickly to diversify and protect themselves, their families, and their assets. Low transaction costs are one reason Investopedia calls Money Metals the best dealer in America. Don't waste any more time. Start protecting your savings today with physical precious metals at moneymetals.com/go.
To the Swamp and the Gators, with the best beverage served at Spur's Gridiron Grill, 100% agave Los Landeros Tequila, aged in bourbon barrels for a smoother taste.
I think you mean Head Beer Coach 1966 lager, a crisp, light, bodied lager for easy drinking.
Nope. Los Landeros Tequila, smooth enough to drink neat and bold enough to elevate a cocktail.
1966 lager, enjoyed on game days in the fall or whenever you need a winning cold brew.
When the late, great Charlie Daniels would need a place for jewelry he could trust, he turned to International Gold, Diamond, and Watch Exchange.
Hi, I'm Charlie Daniels, and I live in Tennessee, but when I get ready to do something serious about jewelry or a gift for my wife or somebody, I always get in touch with the folks at International Gold and Diamond Exchange here in Gainesville. There's a lot of reasons for that. One reason is they sell nothing but the best.
Find out what Charlie was talking about for yourself at International Gold, Diamond, and Watch Exchange at 3440 West University Avenue and online at igdwex.com.
By now, you heard about the Florida Legends Experience in Gala, featuring Gator Heisman greats Tim Tebow, Danny Warfel, and Steve Spurrier, all in one place at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Imagine catching a pass or taking a handoff from a Heisman winner, all while supporting Isaiah 117 to help provide safe, loving homes for children in need. Then enjoy an unforgettable evening at the Gala, filled with great food and lasting memories. Don't miss this historic event. Find out how you and your business can get involved at fllegends.com. That's fllegends.com.
And good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's a beautiful Thursday morning here in North Central Florida. It's time to win with JC. We've got some games coming up tonight. We've got some games tomorrow. We've got games this weekend. We've got games from last night. And we've got a lot to talk about as we get ready in the next 30 minutes to try to find some winners for you here on this segment with Matthews in the morning. Brent Beaird and Shane wrapping up some, I guess, college football talk for you. We'll get, of course, much deeper into that as the days and weeks and months go by. But right now, it's simply time to win. So let's look at some things that are going on last night. We've got the College Baseball World Series Super Regionals, College Baseball Super Regionals this weekend. Amazing things happened last weekend. I know folks around here in Gainesville quite unhappy with the result that they saw from that little old school in South Alabama coming into Gainesville and taking on the Fighting Gators and basically cleaning the deck with them. It was too bad to watch, but if you're a Troy fan or if you live in South Alabama and you don't like Auburn or Alabama and you like Troy, you're a very happy person. Same with the folks in the middle of Arkansas, Little Rock. We'll talk about that. First thing I want to hit is last night's game in San Antonio in Game 1 of the NBA Finals. The Knicks and the San Antonio Spurs. And, as we bring in Zach Rothrock to join me here, Zach, I mean, honest to God, I don't know how many times I pounded the table and pounded the table about how live the New York Knickerbockers were. I think it's been a month now. I think it's been clearly a month.
A while,
almost
yeah.
3 to 4 weeks that I was bloviating about how the Knicks, with their point disparity, the point differential, I should say, in their previous series going into this one, the amount of rest that they've gotten to get some of those hamstrings right, to get everybody clear thinking, while San Antonio is just battling with OKC. Look, a couple weeks ago, you could have got the Knicks at 8-1. You can forget about that now. I don't think there was any question to me. That might have been one of the best bets I've made in a long, long time. Sitting at 8-1 right now, because what I saw last night, and I'm sure there's going to be adjustments, and I know that all the experts are going to get in there and try to tell you why the Spurs are going to make this a great series. But I clearly saw two different types of teams last night. The Spurs looked like a team that had one really great player and 4 guys off the street. The Knicks look like a very deep team that can hit the boards and follow the leadership of a guard from Villanova named Jalen Brunson, who's going to be the MVP. He had 30 points last night. He led the team as he always does. And once again, a double-digit win for the Knicks. A double-digit win for the Knicks. They did it 4 times to Cleveland. They just made the Sixers quit, and they made the Atlanta Hawks quit. Those teams aren't the Spurs. The Spurs, to me, look like a tired team that has a lot of good things going for it. Wembayama is great, but that's it. That's it to me. Now, I know you're going to tell me why they've got great players and this or that and the other, but Wembayama was D'd up with Karl Anthony Towns last night. 6 of 21 shooting, 12 of 13 from the line. That's 26 points. Meanwhile, Josh Hart's getting 15 rebounds. Cat had 12 rebounds. Cat played the defense. Brunson played the offense. The Knicks are deep. I think the Knicks, if this continues like I think it's going to, you're looking at 5 or 6 games, and this series is over. So you tell me why I'm wrong, or you tell me why I'm right here, but I'm sticking with the Knicks. I know last night or yesterday I said something about maybe the Spurs to cover the game line. And they're going to win a game in this series. Clearly, I think they are. But the Knicks are a better team to me. They look much better, and they have hit a stride right now that I think is unbelievable, especially with the point differential that you are seeing this team in these playoffs against these other teams. It's incredible to me. Double-digit wins over and over again.
I mean, they've certainly been really impressive, and they have validated a lot of your statements. And really, the biggest thing to me is how they were able to keep the game close, despite Jalen Brunson being out of the game for a solid. It was about a full quarter or so in the first half, and he came back in the second half. But I will say this: so game one, as someone who took the bet on the Spurs several months ago, game one was probably the biggest concern we heading into the season, simply because of the rest differential. The Spurs are coming off, I think, 4 days rest. The Knicks are coming off about 10 days rest. That's something we look at in the NFL a lot when we're betting. So yeah, the game one, the Spurs looked to me like a team that ran out of gas and got tired towards the end of it. They did go on, I believe it was a 20-5 run in the first quarter, but then each quarter just got progressively worse after that. They got worn down, and the Knicks never ran out of energy. And now the Knicks are a great team. Everything that you said is valid with Jalen Brunson being on the offense and Karl-Anthony Towns being on the defense. But if the Spurs can just get if the Spurs can shoot from the 3-point line like they shot in Game 7 against the Thunder, they can beat any team you put in front of them. It's just a matter of getting in that rhythm and getting hot. They played about the worst second half of basketball. I believe 95 points was the lowest total of points they scored all season. So I do think the Spurs will be able to get it together and play a better game, but the script or the way things have played out, it could not have gone much better in game one for the Knicks.
And listen, I'm no expert in basketball. I'm really not, and I don't pretend to be, but I'm telling you what I'm watching. My eyes aren't lying. This is a team that is deep, it's rested, and it is beating everybody by double digits. Okay, so they won by 10 last night, and that's fine. But tonight, or next game rather, is for tomorrow night, and you've got the Spurs laying 5.5. You can get that down to 4.5 if you want. The Knicks are almost 2-1 on the money line. I mean, what? I don't think this is a sweep. I think San Antonio gets a win. I'm not laying 5.5. I can't do that.
I mean, they just won by 10 as a 4.5 win underdog, so why can't they win outright as 5.5? Yeah, I'm with you.
I'm not trying to be partisan here. I just see what I see. And New York is deeper and they have more energy, and they are just a team to me that is on this mission. And I can't get over the point differential in all of these wins. And so with that, I think the Knicks win this in 5 or 6. And I've been pounding the table 8-1. I'm going to keep repeating myself, but I just think New York is better. I think they're better right now. And, not all the time does the better team win, but honest to God, San Antonio, to me, just watching this, and I haven't watched much of it, but it's one guy and it's Wembanyama and 4 dudes running around trying to get open. That's what I see.
Harper and Castle have a lot of potential, but they're young. They're the youngest team to ever make the NBA Finals, so they haven't really filled out to what they can be. Whereas the Knicks they got a lot of growing, man. They got a lot of experienced guys. And so I definitely see a lot of validity in what you're saying there. But if Harper and Castle can get it together, they can catch fire and they can get into their rhythm, they will be extremely tough to beat, though.
The Knicks are minus 140 for the series. San Antonio, you can get them at just over 100. Even money, you can get 15 cents on the plus side with the Spurs. If the Spurs win game 2, that might flip. Give me the Knicks. Anyway, that's what I see in the NBA. We'll talk more about that as it goes. Hockey tonight, Vegas and Carolina. Everybody in America was saying, take the under, take the under, take the under, take the under, take the under. The under was dead in the middle of the second period in game 1. 5-4, Vegas gets the win. Las Vegas is the same thing as I see with the Knicks, a team that is peaking at the exact right time. If you like hockey, if you're watching this hockey, if you like sports, if you like competition, if you like things that are dramatic, if you like fans that are going crazy, if you like something that's good, you're going to be watching this NHL Stanley Cup Finals. Right now, Carolina in Game 2 is minus 150. The Vegas Golden Knights plus 130 in Game 2. It's almost the same exact line as Game 1. Total is still stuck at 5.5. They still think this is going to be more of a defensive type series. I got Vegas in pocket plus 200. They made that bet 2 weeks ago. Jack Eichel as the MVP at 25-1. Right now he's down to 16-1. Pavel Dorofeyev at 40-1. Carter Hart, their goalie, at 30-1. Nikolai Ehlers for Carolina is 20-1. And I just added Brett Howden at 25-1. That's for the Conn Smythe That's the MVP. It is for the entirety of the playoffs, not just the finals. But I can tell you right now, if Eichel scores some goals, if the Vegas Golden Knights win this, Eichel is your winner of the Conn Smythe Trophy. I am a firm believer of that. If it's Carolina, I really like the way Ehlers has stepped up the offense. I don't think Freddie Anderson is going to get that award, even though he's been really good. They have not played anybody. They swept Ottawa, big deal. They beat the Flyers. That to me, Vegas has had a much harder path. They swept Colorado. They beat a great Anaheim Ducks team, very young, fast, very exciting team in the Anaheim Ducks. Vegas, to me, is the play still in this series. Whether they win game 2 or not, the series will switch back to Las Vegas. And again, I'm in pocket with Vegas at plus 200. Game 2 is tonight. You're getting 130 if you take the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, I know we are more localized with college sports here in Gainesville, North Central Florida. The conversation in the next 2 months is going to be about football because the season for me in sports for 2025-2026 is over at UF. I don't think it was very good. I think it was disappointing to say the least, especially with the way the football season ended last year, especially with the way the next coach who's not here is still on the payroll. That's an athletic department issue, but everybody's paying for it. And I certainly think with the new coach, there's a lot of optimism. So we're going to talk a lot about that. My stance on Florida football still remains over 7.5 wins. I had a little bit of trepidation after I looked at that schedule over the weekend because I do realize that Texas, Georgia, Oklahoma, Mississippi are legit teams with all a chance to make the college football playoff. That's 4 teams on the schedule out of 12 that Florida is going to be an underdog in most likely cases right now, if you think about it. But they do have 2 easy games, I would think, with FAU and Campbell to start the season. That's 2 wins right there. You got to get to 8 if you hit that 7.5 total. I still think the odds are good enough to take that at this point. The other play I have is Florida State under 6.5 wins. I think their schedule is brutal. And I don't think depth-wise Florida State has the team. Even though the ACC is pathetic, and even though the ACC team that was in the finals last year, Miami, did amazing things on the road in the college football playoff. The ACC as a conference in general sucks. It's absolute trash. There's only one team left in college baseball. That's North Carolina playing for a College World Series title. The only basketball team that was worth a damn last year was Duke, and they got beat. And then you have football with Miami, granted, that's true, but that conference sucks. From top to bottom, it's absolute trash. So right now, the ACC's got to figure out how we're going to get more teams involved, and this is why they don't get the money on the TV deals, and that's a fact. So we're going to talk about baseball right now. Baseball is important, and I know the Gator baseball team disappointed us all. We were all head faked. I had the Gators to win the College World Series at 22.5 to 1. I'd make that bet again, knowing that they have no left-handed pitching, knowing that maybe sometimes these guys who throw 100 miles an hour just can't get it done because they just can't locate their pitches and they just throw batting practice and the hitters eventually time it out. Here comes Troy, team from South Alabama. For the first time ever, you've got 4 teams that have never played in the college baseball super regional now appearing in the super regionals. 2 number 4 seeds are playing in a college super regional. That would be your Little Rock Trojans and your St. John's Storm, Red Storm. They're playing at Alabama. Troy, I think, was a 3 seed, and they got by. They were a 3 seed, and they, of course, beat Florida. Rider was the 4 seed. Miami was a 2 seed. So let's go through these super regionals starting tomorrow at noon with West Virginia and Cal Poly. I'm basically going to tell you right now that I think these home teams and 9 of the 6 national seeds, 2 out of the 2 are out, but 9 of the 6 national seeds look very good to me with these odds. It'd be hard to lay these 2 and 3 to 1 odds. The series bets are not much better than the game bets in the first game. So what you're going to do here, in my opinion, is you're going to wait for the first games to end and then maybe look how they went and look at some dogs in the second game to try to force a third game. But we have Cal Poly, West Virginia tomorrow at noon. We have Southern Cal, the Trojans who beat Texas A&M, short underdog at plus 130 against North Carolina. Again, the only ACC team, the number 5 national seed. That's at 3 o'clock. They beat East Carolina. They're a big 2.5 to 1 favorite to win their super regional. Then you have Troy and Little Rock. And I don't know why, but I've got this thing about Troy, I was so impressed with them. You know, I don't hate them for beating Florida. I hate Florida for looking like shit. But I think Troy is a team you want to look at to win this super regional at home in Alabama on Highway 231. Budweiser's, Miller Beer, and trucks and four-wheel drives. That's what you're going to be looking at in South Alabama, Zach. They're laying 260. I'd be almost tempted to take Little Rock at 2-1, but I think Troy gets it done and goes to the College World Series. And I've got some plays in pocket to win the College World Series that I'm going to share with you here. Let's just go through the rest of the schedule real quick. At 8 o'clock, or rather at 6 o'clock, Kansas, a team that's never been before to a super regional, hosting Oklahoma. They'll be really fired up for that in the state of Kansas. And Oklahoma coming. Oklahoma shocking the number 2 national seed Georgia Tech, and Kansas beating Arkansas. So everybody's fired up about Jayhawk baseball right now, and they should be. They got great uniforms, by the way. And then Auburn and Ole Miss. An SEC matchup at 8 o'clock starting in Auburn tomorrow night. Auburn, of course, coming out of losers bracket to beat Milwaukee, and Ole Miss winning pretty easily, I think, in Lincoln, Nebraska, in that regional to get to the super regional. You can get Mississippi at plus 150. Any thoughts you have on Friday night or in the College World Series in general, Zach?
Yeah, just the one thing when you touched on Troy.
Super regionals.
Yeah. Touching on Troy, I know we're down on the Gators, and we'd like to look at it through their lens. But I mean, when you look at it from their perspective, to get their bats to get that hot on the road against an SEC team, I mean,
nuts.
If you can, I kind of feel like just riding with Troy just as far as they can go. I don't know if I'll take them to win the whole thing, but as individual games and just to score runs, their bats are obviously hot and they have ways to produce runs. So they feel like one of those teams that can go on a run deep in the World Series in Omaha.
I mean, right now, if you want to take a futures bet on Troy, and I did, you're getting 40-1. Little Rock,
why not?
Little Rock's giving you 250-1. I don't think they're going to win it, but wouldn't you like
the whole thing?
Wouldn't you like to have a $5 bet at 250-1? Wouldn't you like to have a $5 bet to win $200 at 40-1 just to see, to pizza money there? Not even pizza money.
That feels like a why not. That's almost like doing a golf bet.
It's like ham sandwich money. It's French fry side order money. In pocket, I'm sitting on Georgia at 8-1. I'm sitting on the Oregon Ducks. The Oregon Ducks will be at Texas in their super regional. I think they're tough, man. I think they're damn tough. I think Oregon's going to give Texas all they want in Austin if they don't melt. Oregon is 60-1. I don't think they are anymore. I've got Cal Poly, the Mustangs, at 150-1. I mean, I'm just taking these long shots because I don't see the value in 2 and 3 and 4-1 bets on some of these favorites. Not yet, anyway, because anything, as we have seen here in Gainesville, and as we saw all over in these previous regional series, upsets happen. A quiet team that nobody's talking about is Alabama, 7th seed nationally. They will play St. John's, a team that went 3-0 in Tallahassee. Think about this. A team from Manhattan, I think it's where it is, or maybe they're in Queens, whatever. There's some borough in New York. They don't play anybody. They don't have any facilities. They have no money for this. They go down to Tallahassee and beat the guys in the Panhandle, beat their brains out. They won 3 games and won at Florida State, eliminating them on Monday. I tell you, St. John's is tough, but I'm going to go with Alabama at home. I think they can win this, but the number is just not there for me. I'm not laying 5-1 on that. If anything, I would think about taking St. John's at plus 4-1. Georgia, Mississippi State, another great SEC series. This is going to start tomorrow. I'm sorry, this is going to start on Saturday. The Vegas loves Mississippi State for some reason. This team is 0-4, I think, or 0-3 against Georgia. They can't beat Georgia. I think they're 0-4. I think Georgia punked them in the SEC tournament, and I know Georgia went to Starkville and swept them. I would love to see Mississippi State beat these guys, even though I'm sitting on Georgia at 8-1. Georgia did not necessarily hit the ball great in their regional. I think they just slept through it. I really do. Georgia is minus 175 to win this series against Mississippi State. They are minus 135 in that first game, which is, by the way, at 11 a.m. I think that could be an advantage for Mississippi State, frankly, because I don't think anybody's going to be awake or really fired up at that game. Maybe they will be, and prove me wrong. But I think if you're looking for an upset, and there aren't many numbers here on the board that's going to teams that I think are going to win on the road. I think the home team is dominated. The home team is dominated in the super regionals. The home team is some kind of like 69% since 1999 in super regionals. And for the first time, no teams from previous years in the College World Series have reached the super regional. So we've got some new blood in there. 7 of 12 SEC teams have gotten through, only 4 of 13 last year. Last 6 national championships are SEC teams, and 11 of 16 with a team in the top 15 of the last 16 CWS finals. Basically, SEC owns this thing. So I do have Georgia, and I do have Alabama at 16-1. And I'm thinking about jumping on Auburn at 6-1 to win the College World Series as favorites. But I love those long shots. If the long shots hit, it's going to be great. I don't think it's going to happen, though. I think Georgia and these other teams in the SEC are too good. So Georgia, Oregon, Alabama. I'm going to take Kansas to beat OU. I'm going to take, I think Auburn beats Mississippi at home. I like Troy against Little Rock. And I think I like North Carolina to beat Southern Cal. But Southern Cal was impressive when they went into Texas A&M and beat the Aggies. All right, that's college baseball. Hope that helped. I don't know if it did, but let's face it, you got to take odds in this, at least with the way it seems to be going right now. It's hard to lay 2.5, 3.5, 4.5 to 1. I'm going to wait until Saturday's games, hope for some upsets, maybe take a favorite to win 2 straight as we go through the weekend. PGA golf, I was with the great Kevin. I was with Kevin yesterday. Shane was out, and Kevin and I, WRUF, had a great time. And we didn't get to talk pro golf. So this is our picks for the Peachland Dental picks that we missed yesterday. There's Shane shockingly taking Siwoo Kim and Ludwig Oberg. I think he's taking these two guys 90% of the time. He's just waiting for them to win.
I could really just leave their names there every week.
You just leave them there,
yeah.
And Shane will be happy. He doesn't have to think about it. He already knows who he's got. Ben Griffin was fantastic last week at Colonial, and I don't mind that pick at all. I think Justin Rose has been good too, but I like my picks better. I'm taking a 2-time winner on tour right now, Matt Fitzpatrick, 2-time winner this year alone. I think Sepp Straka is really good at this tournament, at this course. He's had really low scores. He's had good finishes here at Memorial. Tommy Fleetwood hits his irons as good as anybody. I think you have to have that on any Jack Nicklaus course. If you have never played a Jack Nicklaus course, this is how it works. If you can drive the golf ball virtually somewhat straight, you're fine. He gives you a lot of room. Once you get into the fairways, it becomes target golf. You have to be extremely accurate. That basically means anything from a 5-iron down. You have to hit your irons accurately on a Jack Nicklaus course. That's what the Memorial is. That's what Muirfield is. I think he's the kind of guy in this situation. And then Wyndham Clark, if he gets the putter going, his short game, he dominated that tournament in McKinney, Texas. I know everybody was scoring low at that tournament, but he was the lowest. Wyndham Clark's game is coming on. I like Wyndham Clark in this. These are just for the wins. You can also look at top 5 and top 10, Zach, if you want to win in golf this weekend. It's a tough thing to do, and a lot of folks have told me, basically we just wait until Saturday, see who's on the board, and try to pick a winner there because the field is watered down completely. Here's Barone, the great Barone 71 of South Florida, probably one of my favorite texters on here and one of our favorite viewers. Siwoo Kim screwed me in the last big major. Well, blame Shane.
Yeah, he's in that scene.
MSRK is another one of our fantastic constant viewers. Shane picks Ludwig and the rest Oriental players. Okay, he does like Sung Jae Im as well. Those are Korean players, Siwoo Kim. Mike M. I guarantee if the Gators start winning a game, he will change his tune about playing regularly. I'm not sure what. Maybe I mentioned something I didn't say. The great Michael Schneider, 86-56. Would you take Georgia or the field? Well, I do have Georgia at 8-1, so I guess that is Georgia against the field. But if I had to say Georgia or the field right now, and that was a bet on the board, I'd probably look at the field. I was not impressed with the way Georgia played offense last weekend, but I do think Georgia is live to win it all for sure. Doggy's going to win it all, he says. It's very possible. And I think they got a good draw with Mississippi State. They own the Mississippi State version of the Bulldogs. Mike MVXHHF. 8HF. Miami versus Florida series in Florida, JC. Let's see. What is that referring to, Zach? Do you know what he's talking about there? Miami versus Florida. Oh, he's talking about football. Well, look, I get it. Yeah, Miami's had the upper hand. There's no question about it. I'm not going to deny that. Look, everybody's had the upper hand on Florida, except maybe Texas. They got destroyed last year. And don't ask me how that happened. Well, actually, that's not true because the year before that in Austin, they ran Florida out of the building. Florida came in there with half a team. Florida gets another shot in Austin this year. Not sure how that's going to go. If you want to get a long-term futures bet on the Gators, you're getting a lot of long odds on the Fighting Gators. I'm just saying they're going to win 8 games. That's all I'm saying right now. Looking at that schedule, there are 4 games I know I'm pretty certain they're going to be underdogs in. Yeah. I know, folks say, hey, don't worry about Oklahoma. Don't worry about Oklahoma. Look at what happened to everybody that comes to the Swamp. Well, a lot of teams that come to the Swamp leave winners. But last year, the Gators blew out Texas. They did. Were they better than Texas after the year? No, they were not. But they beat their ass. So
I took kind of a close look at their schedule. I feel like I'm not going to go down each one individually, but I feel like there were 7 that I think the Gators should definitely be favored in. It's really going to come down to the Kentucky and the Vanderbilt games. I do feel like they should probably beat Vanderbilt too to get to 8. You never know what type of team Kentucky's going to put out there.
I don't know what kind of team Florida's going to put out there.
That is a very fair and very valid point.
Here's the thing: it can't get worse, can it? No, it can't.
I tend to be optimistic about them.
Yeah, I am too, especially with a new coach who's got a winning pedigree, a winning record, who takes his teams to championship games year in and year out, whatever league he's in. I mean, Tulane was competitive as hell. Tulane went to the college football playoff last year with this guy, and they knew he was leaving when they played that game. And yeah, they got blown out. Everybody knew they were going to get blown out. I still think they covered. But anyway, I was watching that game at the Circa in Las Vegas, and Tulane just showed up and played, but they didn't have the material Ole Miss had, and maybe they didn't cover. I'm not sure. I know James Madison covered at Oregon. I know damn well they did. So maybe they shouldn't have, but they did. The thing is that Florida has new life. Let's call it that, because the idiot they fired, and I am going to call him an idiot because he didn't change his ways. He was stubborn, and I don't even think he was that good. He is a career assistant coach who somehow is stealing money as a head coach, and James Madison is the next sucker. Okay? That's who Napier is. He's a loser. But they got rid of him. He's still on the payroll, I think, or they paid him off, whatever. I would have just paid him off so I don't have to put him on the payroll anymore. But he's out of here. Thank the Lord. And all of that bloated bureaucracy that he called his staff is gone with him. And I think that's good. So now we've got new life and new blood at Florida. And I do take it somewhat personally when you get that much money and you're so stubborn that you're not willing to do what's right. Get an offensive coordinator, trim the fat on your staff, lower the amount of responsibility that maybe you have on your shoulders as a head coach. He's stubborn as hell, and guy didn't even know where Crescent Beach was. Screw him. So I do take it personally. Getting $49 million. Give me a break. That's Scott Strickland's fault. That's Florida's fault. That's not Napier's fault. He should take the money if somebody's dumb enough to pay him. But I think this guy Summerall is the real deal. And I know that because I've seen what he has put on the field. His sample size is fantastic, and I think he is ready for this gig. I had a friend at a baseball game, my good friend Hack's at the baseball game watching Troy run up the score. He's talking to the Troy football coach. The Troy football coach tells Hack, who then tells me, "You got a winner. You got a winner," because I think he was coaching with Summerall at Troy. Anyway, your ass has a winner here. And I think it's going to happen. I really do. Maybe in year 1, we see 7, 8 wins. That would be an improvement. In year 2, 3, and 4, I think it goes from there. So let's see what this guy can do. He's getting players, and I'm optimistic at 8:58 here on a Thursday morning.
Yeah, I mean, you got to like his energy. The previous coach was very lethargic. I always just felt like he was about to go take a nap or something. Whereas John Summerall, he feels like the type of guy that an 18-year-old coming out of high school that's an elite football player would want to go play for and be excited to play for. And I mean, he's passed the pre-test. He's got to go out there and win the games, but he's checked all the boxes thus far.
Tomorrow I'm going to be back with Shane at 8 o'clock. Hopefully we'll have Shane with us live, and then we'll be finishing out the week, and we'll continue to expand on this. The time is out. We appreciate you watching. Good luck with your bets tonight, and go Vegas.